Okay, so I might be lost and in some strange place that nobody's ever heard of, but um, but I'm sure everything's going to be fine. I've just arrived at the headquarters for Pukka Herbs, where I'll be hosting a talk today all about cloud gardening and biodiversity. And it's amazing to me just to see how many cloud gardeners there actually are in this area.
This whole estate used to be a chocolate factory. It's now been repurposed. Here I am at Pukka Herbs headquarters. Not only am I delivering a workshop to all of the workers in the office today, this is also going to be broadcast to their workers working from home throughout the country. The team were fantastic, and they didn't let me leave empty-handed. Out of all of this selection, I managed to pick some goodies to take home with me.
Just finished over at Pukka Herbs, and it was amazing getting to speak to people in person rather than doing everything online. And the feedback seemed to be pretty positive, so yes, very happy with that. Now I'm going to take the train to Bristol Templemead and then head over to the Suspension Bridge. So let's get going.
From Keynsham, I took a train back down to Bristol Templemead. This took around about 10 minutes or so. And then from Bristol Templemead, I took a bus all the way to Clifton. The architecture in Bristol is something else. But word of warning to anyone wanting to visit Bristol, there is a hill everywhere. I made my way through Clifton Village and then along towards Clifton Downs. The Downs are a huge protected parkland, and in order to get the best view of the suspension bridge, it's best to take this path which will take us all the way up to Clifton Observatory. I wasn't prepared.
It's getting a little bit late, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to head back to the hotel and I'm going to come back here tomorrow morning.
For the next couple of days, I'm staying here at the Rodney Hotel in Clifton Village.
Oh, look guys, they've even left me some fruit. So we've got a hairdryer, tea, coffee making facilities, and for some reason, a stereo, a nice flat screen. Let's have a look.
Now, if there's one thing about Bristol, they charge London prices. I believe this room was around about £150 a night. Cha! And let me tell you, some of those toiletries, they came home with me.
Morning guys, so it's currently around about 10 a.m. I've just left my hotel and I'm finally on the way to the suspension bridge. We're going to do a long walk. We're going to walk over the suspension bridge and then we're going to head through Lee Woods. It's a super cloudy, misty, foggy day. Visibility is so low. I've almost made it to the bridge. I'm not sure how much of a view we're going to get to see, but let's check it out. Now what you may not know is that the Clifton Suspension Bridge is actually a toll bridge, meaning that you need to pay in order to cross it. But if you're a walker, it's free, so don't worry. Now I'm just going to wait for the traffic to die down and then we're going to cross the road and then walk across the bridge. Sure that nothing's coming along. Alright, go, go, go! Wow. You literally cannot see anything. This is insane. Okay, So I've just made it to the other side and you can barely see a couple of meters, but what I can see is Lee Woods. We're gonna head on down and then make our way through Lee Woods, which is run by the National Trust. Okay, in true me style, I know that I will end up getting myself lost and I don't fancy walking through the woods in the mist and fog. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back across the bridge and then I'm gonna take a walk along the river. And that's got a path on it that I know I can't get lost on. I say this now, child, you know me guys, you know I'm gonna end up getting lost somehow. Anyway, I'm trying to be sensible.
Oof, 5 minutes in and there are already crickets. Child, you know this video is going to be a mess. Anyway, now the first lie that Google told me was that this walk would take me around about 2 hours and 25 minutes. I was really super excited to get to Avonmouth and have a look at the docks and the seaside.
I've just made it back up to the conservatory and the view. Once again, it's absolutely incredible, but of course you can't see anything because of the fog. You can just make out the brief outline of the bridge there. Anyway, I'm going to walk along the valley and eventually I'm going to make it down towards the River Avon. Now I've reached a viewing point for the Avon Gorge and as you can see, once again, there's just nothing. But it is spectacular in its own unique way. So I'm going to follow the path down and head down the gorge.
Bristol is the largest city in the southwest. The range of architectural styles in Bristol is crazy. It can verge from medieval to Victorian to 20th century. The beauty in the buildings were amplified by the changing colour of the trees. And then the added air of mystery from this hazy fog. It was just a tremendous walk.
So remember when I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to turn back so I don't need to walk through the wood and get lost in fog? Honestly, you just cannot write this. I cannot tell you just how steep this is. My gosh. And it just keeps going. Wow. Okay, let me just put this into perspective for you.
The camera is not doing this gradient any justice whatsoever. But let me tell you, my legs were working.
Gotta make it down them stairs and then get myself walking along this road here. So there, I've just got down to the bottom of the path and I don't know how I'm supposed to cross the road. Like, what is this? Woo! No, but how am I supposed to cross?
Okay, I actually couldn't record me crossing the road because I was so scared, but just look at this view.
So to put it into perspective, I was right up there and followed the path all the way down. I'm gonna take the footpath and try and get a little bit closer to the river. Oh my gosh, it's so steep, and because of these soggy leaves, it's so slippery. Gosh, it's like a little horror movie. Just scared off some birds, and it just goes to show how important some of these resources are for these creatures. You can see there are tons of berries along here, and you can see on the floor where they've accidentally dropped some. I'm guessing this path isn't used too often because all the animals that I've encountered, predominantly herons and some of the ducks down on the river, they're incredibly skittish, so as soon as I get anywhere near, they're gone.
This route is not flat at all. In fact, as one public footpath ended, it would take me back up to the road, and then I'd have to find a new path to take me back down to the river again. I came across Shirehampton Park, which is run by the National Trusts. Now this was an adventure. Much like this footpath, the train line followed the river as well. But I was not prepared for the amount of hiking up and down steps that I would have to do on this leg of the journey. Just when I scaled one summit, there was another one ready to take its place. No, because please, how was I finding Mount Everest here in the middle of Bristol?
So I thought I got to the top, but
Ooh, cha.
no, there's more.
Oof, not again.
Cha, what is this?
But you know what? This time, it was worth it. Eventually, I arrived at Avonmouth Village, and I was so excited to get to see the sea. All that's left is to get past the busy motorway and then walk through the village.
I think I've been walking for about 3, maybe 4 hours now. And to be fair, I'm actually not tired, even though I've been going up and down these cliff faces. But I'm almost at my final destination. So that's where the train line ends at Avonmouth. It's just beginning to get dark.
These trains run like once an hour. Now what I wasn't expecting is, beyond this crossing is a toll gate. The toll gate was manned by police officers, and the toll gate was the entrance to the dockyard.
Okay, so I just got here and then found out that the whole waterfront down here is all private land, it's all private docks, so I can't actually make it through the toll gate down there. This is not a wasted journey, it's not a wasted trip. Every time. This is a lesson one. I should probably have done a little bit of research on a walk today, but I was just... It is what it is. Anyway, I'm gonna go and find somewhere to eat.
Good luck with that, girl.
Yeah. I don't know why you guys watch me. I mean, this is just embarrassing. Shame. Yeah, so you can see it is literally... Oh look, there's the fire station.
Please, that fire station's not going to feed you.
But yeah, it is essentially just an industrial dock. I'm sure there's going to be a bus stop somewhere. I've ended up at the railway station. I think this one's called St. Andrews or something. And so I've decided to admit defeat. I'm not going to see any sea today. and I'm gonna get a train back down to Bristol. Ooh, chow. It's like some kind of horror movie. It's just like one track. Ooh. And those are the private docks. And you know, now that I'm here and I've got this vantage point, I can kind of see why they don't allow people to just walk on by. Cha, I get flattened like a pancake with all of these trucks. Cha, what a mess. Okay, so I might be lost and in some strange place that nobody's ever heard of, but but I'm sure everything's going to be fine. Absolutely nothing here at this station. St. Andrew's Road it's called. Not a sign, no ticket machines, no toilet, no shop, nothing. It is literally just some random station at the side of the tracks. A single platform and everything. And by my calculations, I've got half an hour wait. You know, I must be the worst YouTuber ever. Honestly, I was just enjoying that walk so much and just being by the river. I didn't even think. I just looked at the map and I saw the sea and docks, and I was like, oh, I'm sure that'll be all right. I can't believe here I am at my big old age learning that actually if I'm going to go on a walk I should probably plan it. Wow. Well, the closest pub is also around about a mile away, but luckily I've got some Pukka tea in my Cloud Gardener flask, and of course I've got a little cup here that I took from the hotel. Well, I may as well pour myself a cup of hot tea. Cheers! Well, my calculations were a little bit off. It was around about 45 minutes, but the train did arrive. And let me tell you, it was so cold. I was just relieved to be on the train. I got back to the hotel just before midnight, and look at how eerie it was walking through this mist and fog. Day 3 and third time lucky, I am going to the suspension bridge again, but this time I'm going to walk through Clifton Village and give you a little tour. There are so many different boutiques and independent restaurants and bars. If you choose to come to Clifton, you have to make sure that you walk through. And at Christmas time, it is even more magical. Clifton Village is just around about a 5-minute walk from the suspension bridge. Okay, you guys, third time lucky. And I've got to say, it was totally worth the wait. The views are just stunning. Remember when I said I was walking alongside the gorge? That's the observatory that we were at yesterday. And this is the gorge. And over there is Lee Woods. Still a little bit cloudy and foggy. Anyway, I'm going to be heading now to Bristol Harbour to go and get something to eat before heading back to Manchester. So, let's go. Hey you guys, so I've just arrived at Bristol Harbourside. I'll show you around, and then I've got the almighty task of picking somewhere to eat. The harbour is known as a floating harbour because the harbour is not actually connected to the River Avon. That means that the harbour doesn't experience any form of tides
Funnily enough, Bristol Harbour used to be the main port for Bristol, but that has now been taken over by somewhere called Avonmouth. Don't know if you know it. The harbour spans across 70 acres and at some points it's around 10 metres deep. There are tons of museums and art galleries and exhibitions dotted all around the harbourside. And in fact, you'll also find their Christmas markets as well. There are tons of restaurants, and that reminds me, I'm hungry.
I'm going to take you to one of the UK's finest dining establishments. It's called Wetherspoons. Basically, it's one of those places that no matter where you go, what village you're in, it is always going to be microwaved to perfection. So let's go and eat.
Here I am pretending that I needed to read the menu when I knew I wanted a mixed grill. Okay, real talk, I haven't yet mastered eating alone, but I do feel comfortable in a Wetherspoons. Now that I'm full, I made my way over from Bristol Harbourside towards Bristol Temple Mead train station to go back to Manchester. In order to do that, I needed to walk through the city centre, and once again, just spectacular.
On my way towards the train station, I've just accidentally come across Castle Park. As you can see, there's this lovely, beautiful structure around me, and then there's loads of gardens around. So I've got half an hour. We've been here before, guys. I've got half an hour to take a quick whiz around here and then make it to the train station for my train at 4 p.m. So let's go have a look around the park.
In the middle of the park is the remains of St. Peter's Church, and right next to it is a sensory garden. There's a community food growing movement in Bristol called Edible Bristol, and they'll take on patches like this throughout the city, no space too large or too small, in order to create these beautiful edible gardens. Their aim is to bring communities together and create a shared connection. As a visitor, it was awesome to see that people were using this garden as was intended. I really wanted to stay longer and explore more of the park, but I had to make my way from the park towards the train station because I only had 10 minutes left to catch my train. You can see the panic on my face as I'm wondering whether or not I was going to make it in time. But there we are, I just made it.
With 5 minutes to spare.
Each week I go on a walk just to help my mental health, and I choose to share that here with you guys on my blog. I'll leave some useful links in my description box if you want to start going on some mental health walks too. And if you made it this far, congratulations, and hopefully I will see you all again soon. Bye!